Every time someone hovers their cursor over a Buy Now button, a silent internal friction takes hold. Every digital transaction carries an undercurrent of anxiety. Customers pause because their brain starts running through a rapid-fire checklist of doubt. They worry if the product will actually work as promised, whether it is truly worth the price tag, or if they are simply making the wrong choice. Most e-commerce brands sense this hesitation and react with immediate pressure. They slap a ticking countdown timer at the top of the page, flash a bright red "only 2 left in stock" warning, or push an aggressive time-limited discount to force the sale. This graph tracks the buyer's mind. The doubt baseline remains unchanged. Urgency tactics trigger an adrenaline spike, overtaking the threshold to force a purchase. Once that adrenaline drops, the lingering anxiety mutates directly into buyer's remorse. Pushing customers over the edge with stress creates operational volatility. It yields short-term revenue spikes at the direct cost of high return rates and a deeply fractured brand reputation over time. High-performing brands utilize an entirely different approach. They build an architecture of reassurance. Instead of shoving the buyer off a psychological ledge, they systematically dismantle the ledge itself. The primary mechanism of this system is anticipation. Elite brands map out a customer's specific, unspoken doubts long before they ever reach the checkout page. They execute this by providing brutally realistic descriptions of what the item does. They go a step further and explicitly define exactly who the product is designed for, and, equally importantly, who it is not for. They pair this extreme clarity with transparent, highly conservative delivery expectations. When a first-time buyer knows exactly when a package will arrive without false promises, their nervous system immediately begins to calm down. Providing this level of detail signals respect. When a customer feels fully informed, their brain stops preparing for a trick. The defensive posture dissolves, leaving them open and receptive. By proactively answering questions, these brands ensure the customer stops searching for reasons to abandon the cart. The decision to purchase becomes an act of logic rather than an act of panic. The second critical pillar of reassurance is structural stability. This requires the perfect alignment of messaging, visuals, and overall tone across every single touchpoint a customer interacts with. This diagram outlines a standard, fragmented customer journey. Notice the chaotic vectors connecting the initial interaction to the final checkout. This is exactly what happens when a casual, funny social media ad leads to a highly corporate follow-up email, which then dumps the user onto a cluttered payment page. Those seemingly minor inconsistencies cause cognitive friction. When the tones clash, the connections fracture and break. The mismatched environment signals instability, subconsciously severing the user's trust before they ever input their payment details. Now, look at a perfectly aligned journey. A unified aesthetic and consistent voice across all platforms creates a smooth, unified pipeline. This unbroken flow signals extreme professionalism and safety to the buyer's subconscious mind. The tangible result of this perceived stability is a dramatic drop in emotional resistance. When a brand feels stable, the final steps of the transaction feel entirely safe. Maintaining a unified presentation across an entire business is a neurological signal of safety that makes saying yes effortless. The true value of building an architecture of reassurance is fully realized only after the credit card is charged. This chart compares the post-purchase lifecycle of urgency buyers versus reassured buyers. Look at the massive disparity in the product return volume columns. Customers who buy in a state of calm return their items at a drastically lower rate than those who were pressured into the sale. Those reassured buyers also grant the brand a patience dividend. Because their expectations were managed accurately from the start, they are highly tolerant if minor friction arises, like an unexpected shipping delay or a small product quirk. Because their entire experience felt incredibly safe, these satisfied buyers actively recommend the brand to others, becoming highly vocal long-term advocates. Solving anxiety at the point of sale scales the efficiency of all future marketing efforts. Visitors arrive with fewer doubts because the brand is strictly associated with reliability instead of risk. Identify the single biggest concern a first-time buyer has about your specific product. Address that exact concern directly on your product page today, using calm, clear language. In a digital marketplace defined by noise and pressure, The most lucrative strategy is not to scream the loudest. It is to be the safest, most predictable place to land.